After watching the process of China's manufacturing dictionary, I finally understood that I would say with Musk that China is the world's leading boss in escaping late, and Musk was not wrong at all. Just a piece of floor, before and after the word specialization, it takes dozens of engineering studies, and a special path can be used to suppress it, and Qigong technology is enough to transfer to the European and American high economic supervisors. This is a large-scale fugitive base in Henan, and what is imprinted in front of you is the fugitive late-year soil and 10 British powder. This is also the main ingredient in this production. The first step in making a string of words. Blatantly, the first thing to put in the chicken is to put the food on the ball. By rolling and rubbing, the thin ring is completed. Then add an appropriate amount of water to dilute the clay. At this time, the mud will flow into both sides of the management. Hand energy is filtered in high-frequency jitter holes that rely on the device, so as to go to the iron round speed and iron in the mud, and larger fast impact particles. The filtered puree then flows into the underground kitchen pipe. Then the slurry is pumped out by 9 powerful suckers, and transferred to the middle layer to screen and store kitchen incense. Then stir constantly to allow the pear river to mix well with the water. It is about to enter the most stringent process of environmental protection inspection. In the picture, he is stationed in Sanli Jiangbing. It will pass through high-pressure medium intake to complete the intake and discharge of alternate water sources. The separated clay will then come to the spray drying tower in front of you. The tower will precisely control the temperature and humidity of the courier, thus turning the raw material into a cold water rate. It's only about 6% average. Then filter out the excess materials in cryolite. Only the clay raw material that is transferred by courier is filled with water, before it will be transmitted forward. It is then transported in batches by the conveyor belt to the storage corona. It is a large body tube that is meters high in front of the eyes. With this equipment, skills improve raw material storage. It can also feel the flow rate during transportation, and effectively mix out a variety of required raw materials. Subsequently, the essential oils were repeatedly screened again. The major examples of the teachings will only be ruthlessly kicked out. It is then transported to the front via a conveyor belt. In the workshop of what field? It will be transported in multiple groups. Now comes to the important part of this article. The iron cans on the equipment are used to store the soil. The original plastic pavilion. Rolled to lay the soil of the year. From a less substantial and less than a piece. Then the same as down. Let's take a look at the details out of the picture. When the subject is less than 0, there is no diet. Leak pressure system located above. Walk back to the same as a positive movement downward. You can immediately see the bottom flower stability that is clearly visible. In the blink of an eye, the thorn was suppressed on one side. These spines are driven by a roller. Move slowly until you pass through this special link in front of you. You read that right. Several high-power spotlights are installed on the transmission platform. This is a kind of home heat lamp running similar to the home you bought. Bricks are being irradiated. The following begins the handwheel burning. The brick will be teleported by the roller into Haruka. This is a 500-meter long 20,000 level giant Haruka. The bricks it burns out are exquisite. Let's take a look at the effect after the first round of burning. It is clear that the color has changed dramatically at this time. The color looks darker than it was originally made. After cooling by cooling, it continues to be transported forward. There were not a few workers in the large room. Automated equipment has also increased production efficiency by more than several times. I have to say that the development of today's enterprises is really rapid. The following begins to get the basin of water to the drill. The purpose of the basin water is to be used. Heat-deprived surfaces can be used with older drums, sticker and more military baby. And that's up to you. It's just that it's made of high-zero soil. That is, the land that we have become a commoner. And high-quality high-zero soil is not excavated in all places. That's why there will be a huge difference in the price of magnetic contention. The machine will be polished in the right layer, thus removing more layers on both sides than on the right. Doing so will make the magnets more tidy. It is also more convenient when sticking to the floor. It's not enough to have the right layer. So the following begins to fight for magnetism. The hard pattern is not the same specification. It is possible to evolve a variety of flowers through the computer and apply a variety of different colors. Now let's take a look at the magnetic contention after the hard flower. The flower inscriptions that are clearly visible on the surface look extremely delicate. It looks quite beautiful under the combination of extended materials. This is followed by a long teleportation generation. Workers only need to observe whether the repetition has been uniform or not. Looks pretty relaxed. I definitely don't come to work in a factory like this. I just don't know what the level of wages is. Now for the second round of burning. And this round will be slightly warmer than the previous one. It usually reaches about 1,200 facilities. Now let's take a look at the finished product after burning. The surface is white like jade, the color is delicate and layered. It's hard to imagine that a brick can be made so exquisitely. To be honest, there were really no workers on this side. Regardless of transportation or burning. Basically, it is done automatically by machinery. As for this part, it is also done by machinery. The conveyor belt located in the rear is transported forward at a time. This was followed by high and low coercion. 1. Check whether the bricks are cracked. Looks quite collegiate. It was once observed by the naked eye of the workers. If you see the color is not cloudy, people are brutal. Can be picked out directly. Then it comes to packing. That's right, it's also done autonomously by machine writing. Compared to the previous set of waterline equipment, this set looks smarter. The quality will also be greatly guaranteed during transportation. Siheo doesn't have to worry about the edge department breaking the lock. With the package stuffed in, shipped to the front and began to taste the explanation. The speed of tasting at the same time has increased a lot. Finally, let's talk about why there are Thorn Prison Shadow Dance pens. That's because of the addition of other materials on the right layer and the raw material. Luck and humiliation make it more resistant. That's definitely better than pure years of this profession. This is also the reason why the price of this special product is so large. Subsequently, Yushima was ready to send it to all parts of the country. Let's take a look at the various items. What do you think of this specialist?